Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Khadijah. My kit number DCE 211301. Today, I will share with all of you about the prenatal development and birth, which is specific in the germinal period. What is the germinal period? Okay, actually, the germinal period of human development begin with the fertilization in the fallopian tube and end with the implantation in the uterus. Okay, actually in this germinal period of development is the first and shortest stage in the human lifetime. Okay, the main event in this stage we can see how it developed from the illustration in this figure, and we will describe in detail in the rest slide of the germinal period. Okay, we can see germinal period actually the last total about 9 to 10 days. Okay, it begins with the fallopian tube when the ovum is fertilized by a sperm to form a zygote in the day zero. Okay, the germinal stage continues as the zygote undergoes the several initial cells division to form a solid ball of cell, what we call as morula. Normally, it happens in day 3 of to 4. Okay, then it continues as the morula undergoes additional changes to become a hollow ball of cell, which we call as blastocyst. Okay, blastocyst normally happen in the day 5 to day 7. Okay. The germinal stage end when the blastocyst implant in the endometrium of the uterus in day 8 to 10. Okay. After that, it will consider implantation occurs. So the blastocyst is now during this stage, blastocyst is called as embryo, and it will soon obtain nutrient from the mother blood via a temporary organ that we call it as placenta. Okay. In the germinal stage, however, the nutrient must be obtained from the cell cytoplasma or secretion in the fallopian tube or uterus. Okay, now we will go in detail for the germinal period, which is the first step of germinal period begin with the fertilization. Okay. Actually, the fertilization is journey at conception when the male sperm and female egg chromosome material unite. Okay, we can, as we know, during the conception, many sperm travel towards the egg due to the chemical attraction. However, only one sperm will succeed in fertilizing the ovum, which is egg, by penetrating its cell's membranes and depositing the genetic material into the egg, where the two nucleus fuse. The fertilized ovum during this time we call as zygote, which is immediately become resistant to the penetration by other sperm arriving later. The fertilized egg now we call as zygote. After fertilization occurred, the zygote remained in the fallopian tube for about about 72 hours, and during this time, it's developed rapidly. During this time, zygote making their journey, uh, zygote making journey to the uterus and supported by cilia. Okay. Second stage of germinal period is cleavage. It means the zygote journey. Okay. During zygote journey, the process is more for the cell division. Okay. It happened by the second day after fertilization. The single cell zygote undergoes the mitosis process to form into two daughter cells. And mitosis continues to take place every 12 to 24 hours to produce the first 4 cells, then 8, and as many as 16 cells by day 4. Okay. The early mitotic division are called cleavage. Okay. By day 4, the cells form a solid ball that we call as a morula. Okay. You can see from this picture how the process happened during the zygote journey. Okay. Although the cleavage results in more cells, the overall mass of the cells making up the corolla is still at the same size as the initial zygote because the cells are confined within the zone pellucida. Okay. A large amount of cytoplasma in the original zygote becomes subdivided among the multiple cells of the morula. Okay. After the morula divide the cells up to the 100 cells, it become blastocyst. Okay, actually blastocyst was divide into two cells, which is outer cells and also inner cells. Okay, for outer cells we call as trophoblast, and for inner cells we call as embryoblast. Okay, trophoblast actually it will become as placenta during the embryo stage. This is support the nutrient to the fetus. Okay, and the inner cells will become embryo later. The third stage of germinal period is blastulation. During this time, the blastocyst actually change from the morula. It occurs around roughly at day 5 to day 7 after fertilization. During blastulation, the morula change from a solid ball of undifferentiated cells into a fluid-filled ball of the differentiated cells. Okay, you can see from this figure. Okay, the major part are full from the blastocyst are embryoblast, trophoblast, okay, trophoblast, and also blastocole. Actually, blastocole is blastocyst cavity. Okay, just now that we call the size of zygote will be not expand due to the pellucid zone. Okay, this is the pellucid zone. Actually, the blastocyst in the embryo part we call as the embryoblast. Okay, the embryoblast in the inner cell mass consists a mass of cells inside the blastocyst. The cyst is actually the eventually developed into the embryo. Okay, the trophoblast is the outer cell layer of the blastocyst. Blastocyst cells will implant to the uterus and eventually develop into the placenta and other embryonic tissue. The blastocole is a cavity formed by the migration of the embryoblast cells to one pole of the blastocyst. Okay, the blastocole filled with the fluid secreted by trophoblast cell. Okay. The blastocyst is made up into the 3 layers, each of which develop into the different structure in the body. First layers is ectoderm. It means skin and nervous system. Okay, you can see the color. Okay, the ectoderm, skin and nervous system. Endoderm, for digestive and respiratory system, and also mesoderm, which is muscle and skeletal system. Okay. And the last one, the final stage in the germinal period, which is the implantation. So where is the implantation happen? So the implantation was happen in the uterus. So the blastocyst become embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. You can see how the implantation happen. Okay, the blastocyst digest the uterine mucosa. Eventually, the endometrium grow over the embryo. The embryo continues to grow until delivery. You can see a 7 to 8 week old embryo in the uterus. Okay. Around day 8 or 9 after fertilization, in which a blastocyst become embedded in the endometrium, you can see already embedded. Okay. Implantation is triggered by contact between the blastocyst and the endometrium. Okay. In response to this contact, trophoblast cells start to proliferate. Okay. The trophoblast cells start secreting enzyme that digest the mucosa covering the endometrium. Okay, these changes allow finger-like projection, we call villi, of the trophoblast to penetrate into the endometrium. Okay. The projection pull the blastocyst, now called an embryo. Okay, this is now you can see. Now during this time, there's no more blastocyst. Now, actually, the embryo period has begin into the uh, endometrium until it fully covered by endometrial epithelium. Okay, so it show the implantation already success. Okay, due to the successful, it become the hormonal change, which is we will stop the normal menstrual cycle, and also will cause of the changes in the whole body in terms of the our physical. So we will start gain weight due to the baby uh, development. Okay, so that's all from me for the presentation on germinal period. Thank you.